podcast about comics. A podcast about comics.
A podcast about comics is Nerding with Friends. This is your boy, T'Challa BP74, along with my dude.
Salutations, my fellow blurs, nerds, and peaceful herds. It's your boy, Codename Comic, coming to you from the Nerding with Friends podcast. How y'all doing?
APAC.
So, the fourth episode is the Doctor Strange. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands?
This one, for me, was not the best. It was the change. It was the one that started to bring everything together, because it was also, if you think about it, this was the first one where the Watcher really wanted to do something.
Okay.
Like, this is the moment where he's like, it's getting pretty bad. I should probably do something. I'm not gonna do something. I'm not supposed to do something. And that's when you really got to that's when they really put the question into your head, dang, but what if he had done something? And he starts to move closer and closer and closer to the point where he's almost about, like, behind his back, about to touch him. And one of the biggest things that also got, like, kind of drew my attention is, like, the title itself. You know, what if he loses his hands and loses his heart and not his hands? Like, that in itself being a play on words. It's like, when you watch that, when you see it, it's like, okay, how are they going to recreate his heart? And then when the episode happens and Christine dies, it's like, oh. It's like, this is different.
Yeah, it was. They gave you something different.
Yeah.
But they gave you something that ties so many things together.
Yeah.
Because you and I have talked about in the first episode with Peggy Carter, when Captain Carter pushes that entity back in that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see the same entity makes an appearance again in this one.
Exactly.
Right? And then we see that same entity makes an appearance again in the very last one.
Yep.
Right? And I think that the entity, I'm going to get to it later, but I think that entity is going to play a crucial role in this phase of the Marvel Universe.
I think the entity and Supreme
Strange.
You
You think Supreme Strange is the one that we see in Spider-Man coming up?
I think so. I think that everything that's happening right now was to basically show us that these are other realities that are happening currently. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest connection to that was the showing of the Shimagori, or what we think to be the Shimagori, because it showed that Red Skull opened up a dimension that he didn't know was on the other side. That came out. She just so happened to be pushing it back in, and then you go 4 episodes later to you being able to open up that exact same dimension, and at the same token, he didn't do it on purpose. He opened the dimension because he realized that he can take power from these smaller creatures. Yeah. So he opened, like, he got to the point where he's like, I need to be stronger, let me open up something bigger. So it's just like
and he didn't even take it on, he just took on a couple tentacles.
It's just a couple tentacles. So it's like, it just shows that, like, one, there's something much greater out there. 2, the dimensions are connected even if they are separate. Okay. Like, there is a pathway in between the dimensions that can be crossed. Yeah. And it showed that Strange is powerful enough to cross it alone.
Yeah.
So that just the many things of Strange Supreme, not to mention, like, I know where this is a little fast forward, but Strange Supreme was the wild card that showed the Watcher that he could win.
Yes. Because he goes back to him
first.
He goes. Strange talks to him in the end of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he realized that he's there or whatever. But you don't know that until you see the second to last episode when it ends, and he's sitting there and Strange is like, all right, should I say it now?
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I need your help.
So it's just like, this character in itself, though he was in the middle of the series, his presence, his energy, everything about him had so much weight. It had so much. He played such a pivotal role within the entire series. I feel like it's hard to just let him kind of die to the wayside. Okay. Especially considering he's holding like 6 Infinity Stones in his hand right now.
But let me ask you a question. We see later on that Strange also has a stone. Strange Supreme had a stone of his own, right? Because he neutralized the stone that.
Right. So he has his own time stone.
Now, does he go forward in time knowing that he's so much more powerful than our Doctor Strange? Does he go forward in time and see the collapse of the multiverse, see the Whatif episodes and the what do they call it, the
like basically like everything, like the,
yeah.
I'm talking about the points.
I don't know what it's called. There was an issue run. I think Hickman was the one who had wrote something on it.
Okay. So this classic stuff.
This is, and I wouldn't say classic because it was about 10 years ago. But you know, these worlds start colliding. Incursions.
Okay.
Yeah, incursions is the word I'm looking for. We don't know if he's seeing these incursions and say, dude, Watcher, dude, you're gonna need me.
Yeah.
We see later on where the Watcher is like, he had a game plan all
and
along.
he did seem like, to me, now I could be reaching, you know me, I'm the team speculator, but he seemed way too calm at this point. Like, he seemed to know what was going on. And if you think about it, the only other time that he kind of had that same level of confidence was after he figured out how to be Thanos. So what's to say that if our regular Strange can do it, why couldn't Strange Supreme go through the many different possibilities in order for him to win?
We don't know. He might have. He didn't seem, and maybe he had to play that role. He didn't seem like he knew what the Watcher plan was. He said, "You knew all along, didn't you?" Maybe he just said that because he knew that the Watcher knew all along. It was just playing on words to have the audience who's looking at it.
Exactly. So that way you're not questioning what his motives are, because at the end of the day, you know your thoughts at this point is like, he did it all for love, so he's still a decent dude. But at this point, it's like, we don't even know, and they never really took into account. The only person who ever said anything was Captain Carter.
Yeah.
What's happening to you?
Yeah.
She's the only person that actually mentioned that the creatures inside of him have to be changing him.
Yeah.
Like, they have to have.
Well, she actually saw the tentacles.
Yeah, so it's like, and to see that he doesn't have as much control as, you know, he's playing, it just shows a lot more than what, you know, we as the audience have been given. So, and knowing that movie is coming up, like.
Well, one thing we did get for certain is what we found out, that there's some characters who have an absolute point.
Yeah.
Right? So we see where, what's her name, had an absolute point that she was going to die regardless of what. Christine, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, do we see her die in Doctor Strange 2? And we see, because here's the thing.
I didn't consider that.
She never died.
She's never died. So we could see him actually.
And Doctor Strange, the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes off in the end when he tell her thanks, whatever. He goes in the room, opens up the portal, and he walks through when the mop falls. So the last thing we know, she's still a doctor, surgeon in a hospital, right? Mm-hmm. So we never see her die.
Yeah, we never even see like what the situation.
So if everything is happening, right, and her absolute point is that she dies, why isn't she dead in our multiverse yet?
Not yet.
Not yet,
said
right?
not yet, but
so does she die in Doctor Strange 2? And Doctor Strange decides at that moment, right, that he's gonna do something crazy?
I think it's a possibility that she's already dead.
Or when everything is going on with Peter, she's already dead.
I think she's
and he's like, well, if I do this, maybe I could bring her back.
Yeah, just like he tries to rewrite his own little thing too. That's why he's so. I feel like there's so much, and just them showing us his capabilities alone.
Yeah. Oh, he's a power. He's probably the most powerful.
He's the most powerful right now. He's got it.
I have seen one other version of Doctor Strange that was more powerful, and that was the Doctor Strange that fought Hulk in World War Hulk. Yeah.
So I just
wait. Yeah. World War Hulk came. That's when Hulk came back to Earth. Before that, it was Planet Hulk. Yeah. Which that's something. I don't know if you heard that now Marvel is moving forward with a World War Hulk.
Yeah, I heard about that
movie.
Yeah. So, see, it's about time.
I don't know. I personally think it shouldn't be a movie. It should be a series.
It would be better as a series.
Let me tell you why. At least from my point of view, right? If you read the World War issues, there was the Illuminati that Hulk went back to see, right? Because remember, the first time they formed the Illuminati, T'Challa told him, "Nope, this is a cancer. I don't want a part of it," right? And out of those Illuminati, they sent Hulk away, right? Which was, if I'm not mistaken, Black Bolt, Reed Richards, Professor Xavier, Tony Stark, Namor. I think that's it, right? Yeah, because the first person he stops off is at the moon, and he see Black Bolts, and he beat him to shred. Then he come down to Earth, you know, and then he have the run-in with Iron Man and Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange decides to take on essence of other beings to get strong enough to fight that version of the Hulk. Because at this point, he's filled with rage. He kill his wife, he kill his kid. He's destroying everything, right? That was the most powerful. And I think that Doctor Strange was more powerful than Strange Supreme. Yeah. But they never break it down and say.
And I do feel like we will. Like, I don't think this is the end all be all. Like, I don't think we're about to lose Strange. I do feel like we have to. Every hero has to go through their downfall, and Strange hasn't gone through his yet. If we have been now shown that Christine dying is an absolute point, it's likely that it's already
that
happened.
he's probably gonna get her.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that happens off screen, simply because I think we need to be shown a Strange and have no reason not to trust him.
Yeah.
Until we're shown a little more information of why he would do this in the first place.
Okay.